Hey drone nerds, Matt here. I've got Paul Fermo from Ascent AeroSystems here today. Paul, how are you?
Good, nice to see you, Matt.
Good, can you just give me a little bit information about Ascent AeroSystems? How did it come to be?
Sure.
What is it about?
Yeah, so Ascent AeroSystems, we've been around since 2014. Founded by a couple of brothers, John and Nate Maringer, and their co-founder, Peter Fuchs. We've grown since then. We're now, we just got acquired by Robinson Helicopter Company, so it's a big news today. So we have the ability to really expand our production and manufacturing into new areas, and we're super excited about it. We do a coaxial drone. See, we're the only one in the US that really does this at an enterprise level scale. We have customer groups across defense, public safety, and industrial markets.
So you would say your primary customer would be enterprise solutions?
Yeah, well, enterprise solutions, and we also work very closely with integrators. One of the benefits about our system is that it's an open architecture, fully modular system. So for integrators that want to put on their own custom sensor or payload or companion computer, or whatever they want to integrate, they don't want to build a drone, but they want to build something that goes onto a drone, we're a perfect company to work with because we allow the system to be built onto in that way. And so we work with a lot of integrators in that respect.
And what kind of challenges were you guys trying to fix when you came up with, I mean, this is a really unique design.
Yeah, so all drones are good for certain things, right? But there are some weak spots in all things. And one of the challenges with multi-rotor systems is that, one, they don't scale very well. So if you want to go from a small version to something that can carry a little bit more weight, you have to scale a tremendous amount, which quickly becomes, unruly, or at least the inability to carry it in a tactical manner. The cylindrical design scales very, very quickly, very easily, and with not much effort. So we've got a smaller system that's our Spirit, that's 13.5 max takeoff weight. Just a little bit of scale here gives us a max takeoff weight of 30 pounds. So we can scale very easily with that. The other thing is that multi-rotor systems tend to be fragile. Things hanging off, arms break, susceptible to weather because critical components are exposed to the weather. In our design, we're able to put all those critical components internal to the system, seal it very easily, and so we fly in the worst possible weather you can imagine, rain, snow, heavy winds, all successfully without any issue. So it really is a true all-weather system, which means at the end of the day, much better dispatch reliability rate. If you're doing mission critical operations, you need to get airborne, you need something that you know you can get airborne regardless of where you are or what the conditions are. That's the benefit of this design.
And talk to me about the coaxial design. What kind of benefits do you get from using the coaxial?
Well, for starters, it's 2 motors as opposed to 4, which means half the number of things that you have to use or maintain. So we have a reduction of things that need to go on a system, which lowers the weight, also lowers the complexity. But then in addition to that, we can get in a smaller space, much bigger disk area. So that disk area, if you go back to 10th grade geometry, the area of a circle, the disk area cumulatively on a coax is much bigger than an equivalent quadcopter or multi-rotor system. So what does that get you? It gets you better thrust, gives you better speed, it gives you a better lift to weight ratio. We can carry more payload in a smaller space. The rotor spins slower, so there's lower draw on the battery, which means we get better endurance. So we have all those benefits, and when our founders, John and Nate and Pete, thought about this, they just thought, hey, what can we do to take better advantage of aerodynamics and physics? And that's what we did.
And talk to me a little bit about this drone, some of its features, who it's geared towards.
It's really geared to any enterprise level user. So whether you want to do ISR or have some other custom payload that you want to integrate onto it, those are the sort of customers we work well with. Primarily with integrators who have, they want to do something, they don't want to necessarily build the drone, but they want to build something that goes onto a drone. We're very well suited for that type of scenario. But we also have, deliverable full end-to-end systems too, like this, for example, where it would be a very effective ISR platform in any kind of military or public safety type of circumstance.
And what type of IP ratings and flight time are we talking with this model?
IP rating is 5.6. Flight time is always dependent, of course, on conditions and then how much weight you're carrying. So anywhere, on our smaller platform, we can get up to 53 minutes with no payload. As soon as you add payloads and batteries, obviously you reduce that flight time. This vehicle with a nominal payload, a small payload, can get to an hour or more flight time.
So how can users get the most out of Ascent AeroSystems? So how can they make it work for their company to the best? Do you have any tips or anything like that?
I would say just call us. Let us know what your problem is. We're interested in solving problems. We're less interested in just selling you a drone. Right. What we really want to know is what are your pain points, what are you struggling with, and then let us work with you on how to give you the system that does the exact thing you need it to do for your mission context.
And you guys have, you said it's open source, right?
It's an open architecture system, yep.
So you can really make custom stuff, whereas a lot of other companies, they're kind of bound to however it came.
Yeah, it's one of the key benefits of the system because as you can see, if you were here a year ago at AUVSI or a year before that, you would see dramatic changes in the technology that goes into drones now, both from a sensor and payload standpoint, also to components, to companion computers. So the industry is evolving very rapidly. And if you have an end-to-end system to upgrade that, you need to wait for the next iteration of that system. Our product strategy is have an airframe that you can rely on, that you know is going to fly when you need it to fly, and then as things evolve, upgrade it with new sensors or new payloads or new capabilities as those change or as your mission context changes.
So yeah, you really focus on longevity instead of issuing out a new version of it every 2 years, and then whatever people have is kind of like obsolete at that point. I mean, how upgradable is this in the lifetime of the drone?
It's incredibly upgradable. We haven't significantly changed the design, and we'll always make updates. We're a learning company, so as we get feedback, we always want to improve the product to meet whatever customer standards there are. But the vehicle airframe design is pretty well baked. We may improve it with better efficiencies, lighter weight, better motors, internal components, new flight controllers that may be better. Like all those things are always being upgraded. But the design airframe itself, I think, will stand the test of time. But we will continue to upgrade it with new sensors and payloads, and as the industry demands.
And talk to me kind of about the industry itself. Where do you see it heading, just in general?
I see it heading in lots of different directions, right? Drones are good for a couple of things. They're good for collecting data and for delivering things. I think where we see the industry going is more and more use cases of those things across horizontal areas. So we'll see that expand into different market segments, into different market areas across the globe. More and more people using the drones for things that they might not have thought they could use a drone for, but now they're realizing that they're pretty good for that too. So I think that's where we see it going.
And you're one of our partners here. What do you love about Drone Nerds?
Well, it's such a reputable company for starters, right? When most people know who Drone Nerds is, and it's really helpful for us to have somebody speaking externally to customers who really not only understand our system, but understand the needs of drone operators, what drones are good for, how they can be used. Those sorts of nuanced understandings of drones are really important, so that's what's really beneficial for us about working with Drone Nerds.
I appreciate that. Can you tell me anything about your guys' roadmap, anything that you guys are working on? I know you said you got acquired. Any kind of information like that you can give me?
Lots of stuff in development right now. I won't be specific about that, but I can tell you that our team back in Boston, they're working hard on all kinds of new stuff we're super thrilled about, and when we're ready to share that, we will.
Cool. Well, we'll have to stay tuned and keep up with your roadmap.
Yeah, great.
Well, thank you very much for your time.
Matt.
I really appreciate it.
Great talking with you.